मेरे मौला अल्लाह, मेरे मौला अल्लाह।
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Huwa alladhi ba'atha fil ummiyyin rasulan minhum yatlu alayhim ayatihi wa yuzakkihim wa yu'allimuhumul kitaba wal hikmah wa in kanu min qablu lafi dhalalin mubin. Sadaqallahul azim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina maulana Muhammadin nabiyil ummi wa ala alihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. By the fazl and grace and mercy, it is a privilege and honor that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us being immersed in the blessed month of light, the blessed month in which the whole world was illuminated, the whole universe was illuminated by the coming of the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the face of the earth. And really, insan was in darkness, human beings were in darkness, but by the coming of him sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the face of the earth, as if he's enlightened the whole world and shown everybody the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is really, you might be told the topic is prophetic legacy, but let me just tell you is that every single one of us have a portion of that legacy. Believe it or not, every single one of us, not just me and you, but the face of every single creation, every single created being, Jannat, Jahannam, every single aspect of the whole universe has some legacy of the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because it is from the light of the Prophet the whole universe was created. Mine and your soul were created from the light of the Prophet ﷺ. So there is some aspect of me and you, that legacy has been imprinted on me and you. Believe it or not, it's there. But the more important thing what we're going to be discussing tonight, hopefully bi'idhnillah, is that the prophetic legacy, from ilm to amal, from knowledge to action. You see, every single one of us, our elders will say, we know in our families, in our relationships, but what do we say? Son, this is my legacy, you make sure you carry this on. So somebody might build a business, a reputable business. They might have built a trust. They might have established masajids. They might have established a foundation. Every single person on the face of the earth tries to establish some sort of legacy so that the future generation, your progeny, can carry on with that legacy. But the strange thing is that out of everyone, the greatest legacy, the greatest being that's ever touched on the face of the earth, his legacy is the most written, the most renowned, the most authentic, and the most privileged of all legacies. And that is none other than his beloved and blessed life and sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. This is what every single prophet and messenger, what they did, they all left. They all carried the baton of that legacy until it came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he perfected it and he portrayed it in the most perfect manner, in the most perfect form. What was it that I recited? As I've been told the topic today, in relation to this verse, هُوَ الَّذِي بَعَثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا, is that مِنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. This is literally the legacy through this verse of Surah Jumu'ah, that this is literally the legacy of the Prophet ﷺ. The responsibility in this verse, which we probably hear the Imams have recite in the prayers, but we never pondered and reflected what it could mean. How could we relate this? What does this actually mean? What is the responsibility? What is the role? But this pivotal role actually summarizes the responsibility, the duty of prophethood, especially the Prophet ﷺ. His responsibility, his legacy through these verses, which we shall inshallah explore in detail. Now listen to this before I commence. Think on this and ponder. Imagine, like I said to you before, the whole world was in darkness. You're in darkness. Despite the Prophet ﷺ coming and enlightening the whole world, you will still be in darkness. Why? It's because it's simple like this. It's like there is a light and the light is coming. For example, the light is here, it's coming. If I go under the table, or if I put my back towards the light, is my face in light? Am I facing the light? What am I facing then? Darkness. If you are not facing the Prophet ﷺ, if your life is not towards and geared towards the Prophet ﷺ and his sunnah and his way, if your life, your existence is not conforming to this very ayah that we recited to you earlier, is that if it's not conforming to that, then you are truly in darkness. Despite the fact that the Prophet ﷺ, we are the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, we will always be in darkness. And this is what's happening to us. Me, you, this is what is happening to us. We're like stranded on the middle, on the top of a cliff of a mountain, and we're thinking, who am I? Have you not thought about this? Who am I? Where have I come from? 15, 16, 17, maybe 20, maybe 30, we're 40s. Some of us have reached old age now. We've lived our life, but we've never really come to understand, who exactly am I? Am I this person that I look in the mirror, or am I something else? What exactly did I come here for? This routine of job that I'm going from 9 to 5, that I go to work, come home, eat, sleep, go back to work, or I go to school, or go to college, come home, eat, go to mosque, come back. There's got to be more to this. What is the purpose of my life? What is the purpose of my existence? What actually am I here for? Where we see, for example, we go to do janazah. Yes, we hear it. We say that, yes, we're going to go take uncle, my relative, my father, my mother, my brother. But we really don't ponder on this. We really don't actually ever think. We really don't actually give thought as to these fundamental questions that will actually trouble you. And sometimes what's happening is that these questions, where did I come from? Whom should I follow? What is the purpose of my existence? We don't ask Allah and His Messenger. We ask Tom. We ask Jeff. We ask philosophers. We ask sports stars. Maybe Ronaldo will give us the answer. Maybe Messi will give us the answer. Or maybe Mr. Branson will give me the answer. Or Mr. George will give me the answer. Maybe Hugo Boss will give me the answer. Maybe Valentino will give me the answer. Somebody might give me the answer. Why? Because in terms of following, in terms of seeing, our life is modeling more towards them than who we're supposed to really be following. That is what's happening. So if we are still bewildered with these questions, if we're still muddled up, you see brothers now, for example, mashallah, so bless this masajid, this center. What night is it tonight? Saturday night. Alhamdulillah, yes, it's Rabi Al Awal Sharif. Where are other people who haven't actually got an idea what month this is? Who haven't got an idea what time and day it is? At this time, there will be a lot of brothers and sisters, and I include sisters here, brothers and sisters who will be, if you go to the town center now, you'll find them there. They will not be in the house of Allah, they'll be in the house of pubs and clubs. They'll not be in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they'll be a house of dancing. That's what they're doing. Why? It's because we really haven't paid attention to this. We really haven't focused and given due attention to the most fundamental questions in our life. Who is God? What does God demand from me? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala demand from me? What is the purpose of my life? Have you ever asked this in your 15 years, 20 years, 30 years of your life? Have you ever pondered and asked this to yourself? This question, these questions in which we just discussed, we just pointed out, for this matter, for this reason, what happened? The prophets and messengers were sent to guide us like a compass, a guiding light, to enlighten us as to what our purpose in life is. Fundamentally, They all came with this universal message. Every single prophet and messenger came with this universal message which we're about to talk to you now, to the nation. What was it? This is man, everybody says, kahani ka, what is your kahani? What is your story? We all have a story to tell. Everybody likes to read books. Everybody likes to read magazines. Everybody likes to read. I'm sure there are Harry Potter fans here that like to read every single chapter of Harry Potter books and all these other books. Me and you also have a story. We also have a beginning. We also have a middle. But the thing is, because we're still here and we're still existing, our end has not been written. Our end is not written. We don't know the ending yet. Some of us, it was the thinking, our story, the chapters of our story, is within the beginning part, when really you could be near the end. Your latter days, your latter page has been written. Some of us are thinking, maybe this is the middle of our story, when really it could be further down the road. We don't know. So where did it all start? The universal message that every single prophet and messenger actually came with is this, is that they told about that there is one God and that the true God is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the true God, true ma'bud, the one who's worthy to be worshipped, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he told, every single prophet and messenger told us that there is nothing like him. Nothing, no similitude to him, not so whatsoever. He is one, la sharika lah, there is no partners with him whatsoever. They also told us, they informed us that we think we just came here out of nothing and that's it. No. You know, many people, they like to talk, you youngsters you hear, you're all familiar, you think, the question that you may be asking is, are there any aliens? Do aliens exist? And you probably Google, go to YouTube, look at all those different stories, do they exist? You find out maybe there's an image here, oh, maybe they're NASA trying to hide things. Did you know there are two aliens actually, alien species on the face of this earth? Did you know that? Did you know? It's me and you, me, human beings, we're aliens. That's right. We're aliens, that's right. You see, he understands. He can't understand because he's thinking, I'm not an alien, but I look, this is me in the mirror. I don't look like these aliens. This is me. So we are aliens. The jinnas is a shayateen, they're aliens. The jinns is alien. This wasn't our place. We were sent here. We came from somewhere else. Where did we come from then? Where is it that we came from if this is not where we actually came into existence? Where did we come from? This is something that you probably might have heard, you might have not heard. It's called the world of spirits, Alam Arwah. The world of spirits. That's where we came from. It is from there that you would have heard of this, that you hear many times people saying what? I want to do whatever I want. Isn't it? Many people say, I'm free to do whatever I want. You can't challenge me. You can't stop me. I can do whatever I like. Sometimes when we become a bit rebellious, maybe at school, we say to our friends, maybe we say to our teachers, even to our mums and dads, he can't stop me. It's my life. I'll do whatever I want. It's a concept. Whenever somebody says they can do whatever they want, what does that mean? Brother, you tell me, what does that mean? Very good. He just repeated what I just said. That you can do whatever I want. Mashallah, it's good. Whenever somebody says you can do whatever you want, what does that mean? Brother, you there, you seem, mashallah, they're gone. What does it mean? You can do anything that you want. I'm looking for a particular word here. I don't know, maybe in Nelson and Burnley you have a different lingo. I do realize that. You're completely different from all of the places, the corners of the earth. But especially in UK, but Nelson and Burnley, I've got to even start talking the lingo. Maybe you're not understanding what I'm saying. You know, are you getting me? So here, what is it? When we say, I can do whatever I want, what does that mean really? What are you trying to say?
It means that you're trying to say you're powerful and that you can't be stopped.
Okay, that's a good answer. Very good answer. He's saying that when you say that I can do whatever I want, it means you're powerful and you cannot be stopped. Let's take this answer for example. The brother said, very powerful and you can't be stopped. He said this. So he's saying it means that you're very powerful and you cannot be stopped. Okay, illnesses come, you've fallen ill. What happened there?
Then you can lose your power.
Well, but I was so powerful though. When I say I could do whatever I want, but I've fallen ill. I didn't want to fall ill, but it's come. Where did it come from? Wait a minute, I could do whatever. I'm so powerful and I cannot be stopped. I wanted that job at KPMG or PricewaterhouseCoopers. I wanted that. I wanted that job at Microsoft. I wanted that job at Apple. It didn't happen. What happened? If I was so powerful, why am I not on that job? If I was so powerful, why am I poor? If I was so powerful and I cannot be stopped, why can I not marry who I wanted to marry? If I'm so powerful and I cannot be stopped, why do I live like a pauper and not live in a mansion like kings? There's just something that we're not understanding here. There's something that me and you are not understanding here. Why? It's because we've not understood where we came from and what happened there. I'm taking you back to the world of spirits, what happened there. And by the way, this is nothing which I'm telling you which is other than from the Quran. I'm just doing a bit more explanation. This is all found in the Quran. There, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, first of all, there's nothing existing, just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then, by His Qudra and His mercy and by His will, He decided to create creation. He created the universe, the stars, the moon, the heaven, the hell, everything, angels, including me and you. When He created me and you, then what happened? He went around all the creation. Allah knows how many numbers and days that was after, but He decided to address all the creation, one by one. He went to the mountains. He said, "Oh mountains, as you can see, I've got this trust, this amana. If you obey me with this trust and you are obedient towards me, I'll give you such a reward that no other creation ever seen. However, if you disobey me with this amana, I will punish you in such a way that no other creation ever faced before." When the mountain hears this, they tremble and say, "Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't want it. We don't want it." Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala presented to the earth. The earth said, "We don't want it." He presented to the skies. The skies wept. Ibn Kathir says that for 3 days the skies were weeping. 3 days. They said, "Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't want it." And so he went to the birds, he went to the angels. Even angels cried and wept, "Unless it's your hukum, Ya Rabbal Alameen, we don't want this amana, we don't want this trust." But unfortunately, me and you, we said, "We'll take it, Ya Rabbal Alameen, give it to us, we'll take it. We'll take it." And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even mentions here, look, as in this verse, "Truly did we offer an amana trust to which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained to the heavens and the earth and the mountains, but they declined. But they declined to bear it and were afraid of it. But man, insan, me and you, we took it. We bore it. Verily, what happened is that here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is that yes, but you didn't know that in our kind of zuluman juhula is that indeed we're ignorant and we've done wrong to ourselves by doing that. We didn't realize the consequences as such. Why Allah is mentioning this? So that you don't, on the day of judgment, the beauty of the Quran, which inshallah some of the topics will be in the last days, that the Quran is such a manifest book, a unique book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that it tells the past, the present and future. No other book has this. So that what happens is that you are now being warned that this is what's going to happen on the day of judgment, lest you come on the day of judgment and say, "I didn't know anything about it." So Allah says here, I'm telling you now. This is what's happened. Before you came on the face of the earth, this is what happened. We've forgotten, we're asleep. Allah is only reminding us, this is what's happened. So here, this trust, what is that trust? Exactly as the brother said, is that when we say we can do whatever we want, we think we've been given this thing called freedom of will. You've been given this amana of freedom of will. You can now choose. But like the brother was saying, is that it's not that you're all powerful, and it's not like no one can stop you. No, there's limitation of that freedom of will. The limitation is what? Either you can obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or disobey. You can follow his command or disobey his command. Follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or follow the shayateens and devils. You can either obey your parents or disobey your parents. Follow Imam Sahib or disobey the Imam Sahib. Love or hate. Kill or save. That's the limitation. The choice that you have. No choice in when you're going to die. No choice in what health you got. No choice in what sort of earnings you're going to have as such. It's all been ordained. It's just the limitation, limited amount of choice Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you that you can choose. That limited choice. And it's through that limited choice we have to now manifest that on the face of this earth. Another thing that happened on the world of spirits is that you all heard of this, the Ahad al-Las, 3 promises. How many promises? 3 promises we took in the world of spirits. How many promises? 3. I won't use the word covenant because you might not understand. 3 promises we took in the world of spirits. First, you can say the covenant related to the promise of loyalty. Ahad al-Las. When Allah subhanahu guided the spirits of human beings and He asked the question, am I not your Lord? And it is there, many people say, when you heard, really in reality, when that question was actually asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the spirits of human beings were actually created, they were there, they were gathered, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked that question, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the very first to answer the su'al of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and everybody then followed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's jawab. Everybody. So he was not only, we say he is the leader of the prophets and messengers, the leader of human beings, leader of all the creation, not just on the face of the earth, but even then the world of spirits. He was the leader, even then the world of spirits. He is actually conveying the message to me and you, what to say and what not to say. Such a being and such a personality that we've got, that we have, so we're privileged to follow. So here when Allah asks, am I not your Lord? We all tell Ya Rabbal Alamin, yes, you are indeed our Lord. First one, promise of loyalty. Second one, this was indirectly taken by all the prophets and messengers on our behalf. On our behalf, when Allah subhanahu gathered the prophets and messengers and said, this, my beloved messenger here, my beloved Ahmed here, you will follow him, you believe up and you support him if I send you to your nation, at your time. They all said, Ya Rabbal Alamin, we will do that and we will help him, we'll do that. And that is how they got the prophethood, that is how they got the messengership, by that ahad. Through that, because of the ummah of the Prophet, it's more befitting for me and you to be testifying to this covenant. That we have to uphold that covenant, we have to uphold that promise, that we will support the Prophet ﷺ, we'll believe upon him, we'll support him, or we'll help in his mission. This is his legacy that he has there. That's the Muhammadan promise. The third is Surah Yasin, Alam ahadi ilaykum ya bani Adam alla ta'budu shaitan innahu lakum aduwwun mubin, is that, did I not enjoin upon you, O son Adam, that don't worship the devil. Don't worship him. He's your open enemy. Clear, Bashir is not your enemy. John is not your enemy. Rich is not your enemy. Bilal is not your enemy. Shaitan is mine and your enemy. He is the open enemy. But me and you are getting, he hates me, he dislikes me, he's my enemy, he's my enemy. We look at caste, we look at creed, we look at color. No, Shaitan is the real enemy. He is the real enemy. And that's the third promise we said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took from us. That He said, don't worship the devil. So first promise He took is worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second promise is to follow the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Third promise He said, don't follow the devil. By those 3 promises, using your freedom of will, He sent you on the face of this earth. Me and you. And that is what every prophet and messenger is describing to us, is that this world is a test, the arena of test. This world is in which me and you have got a short time to live. Reality. You might say, Brother Qais, what do you mean? Short time. Now let me ask you a question. How much would you give for Jannah? Here we go now. Everybody's now waking up. How much would you give? Brother who recited the Naat, how much would you give for Jannah? Now this, Zain Abidin, yes? How much would you give for Jannah? Everything? MashaAllah, that's very good. Okay, brother, how much would you give for Jannah? Everything and everything. Okay, what is the value then? What value would you give? Let's say a figure. If I was to draw a contract here, what value would you give? Let's say 1 billion, 1 million. How much? Anybody? How much would you give? Come on, it's not a trick question. Go on, how much would you give, young man? As much as you, but you might not have 1 billion. Maybe you are, maybe your dad has got that, but you're just secretly hiding it, you never know. You might not have 1 billion. You might not have 1 million. But let's say, argument's sake, £1 million. Okay, £1 million. Okay, people say, we'll give £1 million for Jannah. Maybe. Is it worth it? We'll see. Now, I'm saying to you is that for £1 billion, what would you be willing to do? If I say to you, I will give you £1 billion, you just be contracting me for 6 years, and basically what you're going to do, you're going to eat and drink, I'll provide everything for you, you just eat and drink, and then 2 hours of your time, of your day, just do this task that I set you to do, and I'll give you £1 billion in 6 years. What would you say to that? You say, yes, of course. 2 hours? Only 2 hours? What is that job? Tell me, sign it off. Where's the signature? You can give my signature. Look at this. Maybe this will help you understand. In reality, what's happening is that if we take 24 hours of our life, and if an average person lives for 60 years, in reality, what's happening is that 30 years of our life, really, in that 60 years, is spent in childhood. About 15 years of our life, if you do the calculation, if you go to 95 and so on, about 15 years of our life is spent in work and education. 2 years maybe we spend in bathroom and toilets, maybe for some of us maybe longer. Especially men, these are the way they're grooming themselves. They're probably much longer, honestly. 1 year in just problem anxiety. Many people are saying, oh, prashan hai, oh, this problem, that problem, oh no, I'm in trouble, I'm problems. 1 year of doing nothing. You know, people say, oh yeah, I've got nothing to do, I'm bored. Nothing, I'm just sitting there, you just do nothing. And if you like some people who like to sleep, if you sleep from, let's say, 8 hours in the day, I'm not saying some people like to sleep more, especially in Nelson, honestly. They sleep a lot in Nelson, I'm telling you. And Burnley's alright, so in Nelson is, they sleep a lot in Nelson. You saw at Burnley we're alright, they're not going to hear us from here, it's okay. Sorry, there are some Nelsoners here. If I offended any Nelsoners, I do apologize. Here is that if you sleep for about 8 hours in the 24 hours, 8 hours, you're probably spending about 22 years of your life in sleep. A third of your life in that 60 years. So in actual living that you're doing, where you're actually alive and doing something, is actually 6 years of that 60 years. 6 years of that 60 years. Now I'm telling you, I say to you that if I was to give you a contract, all that Allah is saying to me and you, oh my servant, just worship me for 6 years and I will give you Jannah. Just worship me for 6 years, because you're going to be in problems, you're going to be anxiety, you're going to be sleeping, you're going to be eating, you're going to be working, you're going to be resting, you're going to be doing all these other things. But when you are free, just be obedient to me and I will give you Jannah. I'll give you Jannah. What is that $1 billion compared to Jannah? What is that £1 million compared to Jannah? What is that? Nothing. But Allah says, oh my servant, just worship me. This is the reality that the prophets and messengers came to actually teach us. This is the universal message. They're telling us that this dunya is ghurur, is nothing but play and fun. Really, it's nothing, it's short. Wake up. Then, what happens? The prophets and messengers, universal prophets, that every single prophet and messenger told us is what? When you go from this world, you'll either go to the higher part of barzakh, or the lower part. It'll either be the pitfall of fire or a garden of bliss that the Prophet said. Either you'll be punished in your grave, or you'll be what? In bliss. One or the other. Now imagine your great-great-grandfather, which you can't even remember the names, you probably don't even know. Your grandfather you might just know. Inshallah, there are some of you that are still alive, they're with you. And some of them, they must have passed away. But your great-grandfather and your great-great-grandfather, and all the way, let's go back to Sayyidina Adam Islam, how many hundreds of millions of years have passed? Since then till now, people are either in punishment or in bliss. Imagine. No, we can't even take a heat. For example, now cold is coming, winter is coming. We're freezing, we're saying, oh, it's too cold, give me the heater, let's take the heater. Or if we cut ourselves, we're in pain. If we get a headache, we can't take it. If we were to be punished, let alone for 1 day, for 1 hour, we will not be able to tolerate it. My dear brothers and sisters who are listening. We will not be able to tolerate it. We're fooling ourselves. So wake up. This is what the prophets and messengers did. They came to wake us up and telling us there is a grave. There is an afterworld you're going to go to. That's called the grave. And you'll be in the grave. It'll be either a pitfall of fire, garden of bliss. This is the universal message that every single prophet and messenger actually brought. Next part. You'll be in the grave until when? Day of judgment. Until we don't know how that be. We don't know when we go, when the day of judgment will commence. We don't know when we'll finish.
Really sorry about this. Is there anybody called Ibrahim Aslam here? Ibrahim Aslam?
Is there anybody called Ibrahim Aslam?
Is your brother here as well? Your mom's just waiting outside for you, please. If you can just make it. May Allah bless you and accept your gathering. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow.
MashaAllah, may Allah bless you.
What you're doing now, you're going because your mom has asked you. Allah will reward you, inshallah, for that. Yeah? Allah bless you.
So here is that until the day of judgment, all the prophets and messengers, they convey the message, there will be a day of judgment where you'll be held accountable. Day of judgment. This is where you have to be. Then that day of judgment is how many years, somebody? 50,000 years. Equivalent of this worldly life. 50,000 years. So it's not, if we call it a day, this is the last day, technically it will be the last day. And in that day, now you can understand when you hear the hadith and the narration comes, there'll be some people who will be drowning in their sweat. Because like here, the laws of gravity, Allah has allowed the water to fall and to spill. There, the water will do, what will the sweat do? You'll perspire, it'll just develop and it won't go. It doesn't need anything to hold it. It's just going to go up and up and up and up. Some people will be on the ankles, some people at the waist, some people to the chest, some people were drowning in their own sweat, let alone anything else, let alone the sun. I'm not talking about the sun, I'm just talking about the sweat. Now you can understand why. If I'm still stationary for 50 years, that's what's going to happen, isn't it? But no, I won't go into detail. This is not our topic, I'm just giving you an overview. That's not our topic here. They all proclaimed, told us that there'll be hisab and kitab, you're accountable for your deeds. And if, unfortunately, if you have to enter, if you have to go through Pul Sirat and your book of deeds has not been good, and your evil deeds outweigh your good deeds, when you come to the bridge of Sirat, you will fall. You will fall. But if, alhamdulillah, you died with Iman and your amal as-salihah, your good deeds is more than your bad deeds, Allah SWT will enter you in paradise. They're in paradise. Bi-iznillah, by the fadl and grace of Allah. This is the universal message that every single prophet and messenger brought and told the nation. Now coming back to our topic. It's one way, they all said, listen, you've only got one chance. There's no second return. Like today I came here, I don't know if I went through the no entry. It was very complicated. If it was left or right, in some roads, one way, you can't go the other way. Otherwise, if you get caught, unfortunately, it'll be 3 points and maybe a fine. I don't know. Here, life, you fail an exam, you fail your driving test, you fail your GCSEs, you fail your A-levels, you fail any other test. Even your work, you fail in your test. There's always a reset. Life is one test, one opportunity, one time you've got. There's no second chance. There's no second chance. You have to get it right once. And that is what the message that every single prophet and messenger came with, to tell you, is that take this message seriously. You've only got one chance. Don't waste it. So the legacy of the Prophet ﷺ, how to put ilm into action. How was it? What was it? We're going to discuss this first. So the Prophet ﷺ, the first duty of the Prophet ﷺ was yatu alayhim ayatihi, is that he'd recite them to the signs. What does a sign do? Now, you are a very, very intelligent bunch here. Honestly, I really like you. Again, brother, what do signs do?
They guide you.
They guide you. They warn you. They admonish you. They tell you stop, danger, go, safe. This is what they do. They guide you. That's what signs do. And this is exactly, look at this. These are all signs. You see here? These are all signs. If you look in the Quran, if you read the Quran is filled with these ayat. Even the verses called ayat are signs, but literally, these are all signs. Down here, we're gonna look at them one by one. For example, let's go here. You see this is a journey in which, this is a bird's eye view, this is a map in which the legacy of the Prophet ﷺ is going to be now portrayed and told. How to put your knowledge into action. How to put actually the Seerah Mubarak of the Prophet ﷺ into your life and bring it into your life and put it into action. The legacy of the Prophet ﷺ. How to put that into your life. Here, if you talk about, that's why if you read the Quran, open the Quran, don't just let it be in the bookshelf. Read it with translation. Understand it. Why? Is because there's something there. Open books of hadith, but don't do self-study. I think that this is what Imam Sahib told me. Make sure that you clarify, and we will clarify this later, the importance and the need of a teacher, because this is where, unfortunately, in this day and age, especially in this day and age, we are. I think it's a disease now. I think it's becoming a disease. It's becoming a disease where me and you are becoming lazy to actually approach the Imam and lazy to approach the teacher who's qualified. Because why? I've got Sheikh Google here. Google, tell me what's this. Google, tell me that. Oh, you got moved to Twitter. Where's the sanad for Google? Microsoft? Is that the sanad? Is that where the authenticity has gone? I could be any willy-nilly on my computer. I could type anything I want. I could put it on Wikipedia and you be searching and thinking this is truth. That's not how deen works. Brothers, sisters, wake up. This is not how deen works. The beautiful thing about this religion, the beautiful thing about our deen is that it's got the understanding, the text, the understanding of that text has been passed on to us from the Prophet to the companions, from the companions to the tabi'in, from the tabi'in to the tabi'in, and all the way down this 1400th century of what? Understanding has come all the way to this day and age, like Qari Sahib here and Imam Sahib here. Recitation, hadith, Quran, all this understanding has come to me and you, how to understand it in light, the true light of Quran and Sunnah, how to understand it. Google's not going to tell you that. Twitter's not going to tell you that. So wake up, say, yes, study. I don't discourage people from studying. No, you do. But under the supervision of a teacher, qualified teacher, who will be able to guide you and tell you this is, but this is the beautiful thing. We'll discuss it later, but this is the beautiful thing is that here, ayah has been revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. The companion, Rasulullah asked, what is this? Do you know my Sahabi? They say, Ya Rasulullah, only Allah and His Messenger know best. Look at the humility and humbleness. What is that showing me and you? Is that you should be, humility should be present in front of your Imam, in front of your teacher, saying that I don't know, teach me, guide me, help me. But what me and you are doing is one is that, I'm saying this, I'm going a little bit of tangent of the topic here, is that one is that we don't show due respect that the Imams and the scholars, especially the local Imam of the Masjid. For example, I'm here, you may show great reverence and great respect to me, but you will not care about your own Imam. When this person here is probably far more, is like a precious jewel of guidance and hidayah for you, but you don't value him. Why? Because he's always here, we see him. We don't value. Love if the person's there in front of you, who's leading you in prayer, who's giving you this and nasiha, who's giving you guidance. He's more precious to you than I am. Honestly, he's more precious to you than I am. Because he's the one who you can approach. He's the one you can ask. He's the one who's leading you. He's your khair khar. He's a well-wisher for you. You only see me once and you probably never see me again. We're strangers. Anyhow, we'll go back to this. So you see this here, signs, ayah. What are they? These signs, for example, when you read the Quran, it talks about heaven and hell, punishment, good deeds. When you talk about barzakh, when we talk and read books of hadith, like for example, we just did Qasida Burda Sharif. For example, if we read hadith, if we do dhikr, if we do tilawat of the Quran, all of this, what we call, is called what? Thirst builders. They create the thirst in me and you. Many people, like you youngsters now, take and listen carefully. This is one of the Yatlu alim ayati. This is putting your knowledge into action. Now listen to it. This is what the Prophet, his role and duty is. Yatlu alayhim ayatihi is that he will tell you about Jannat, Jahannam. I want to go Jannah. I want to stay from Jahannam. You wake up. For example, when we mentioned about Jannat and Jahannam before, you woke up. You got motivated, you got exerted. You go to a class of fiqh, you get motivated. You go to a seminar, you get motivated. You go to a gathering of nasiha, you get motivated. Today's gathering, you get motivated. It's to create that motivation in you. That's what they do. So if you are not, for example, every day of the week, you're missing from the masjid, and the one time of the week when you could have listened to some nasiha is the time of Jum'ah for the khutbah, and you are non-existent, you then tell me, my dear brothers and elders and sisters, is that when are you listening or when are you reading something about your religion? When are you think you're going to open a book and read? No. Hence why, value your imam. Value them. That they are given that duty for you. They are given that. They're doing the responsibility what the prophets and messengers did. They carry on that service. They're reciting that verse for you. They're reciting these things for you. They're doing dhikr. They're doing nasheed. They're doing qira'at. They're doing the Quran. Teaching you ilm. These are all what? Thirst builders. And if you are not partaking in any of these, let me just tell you, your energy level is this. This is the battery. You know, many people, they say, I feel down, brother. Feel really deflated, depressed. Why? Because they're not praying, they're not going to the masjid, they're not hanging around with good people, they're not actually reading anything about deen, or going to any conferences, or seminars, or retreats, or workshop, or anything like that. So how do you expect to be then? What do you expect? However, like all of you here now, sat here, recited, learned, heard the tilawat of the Quran, did some listen to the praise of the Prophet ﷺ. Your iman has been rejuvenated. Here, then we did the Qasida Burda. Again, our iman has been fresh and we've rejuvenated. Now we're talking about the prophetic legacy. All this is going to do is create the thirst in you. Build the thirst. That's what it's doing. Energizing you, lifting you up. So many people, they say, how can I get out of laziness? The more you can attend these sort of things, read books, attend the gatherings, tilawat of the Quran, do some dhikr, stay in the sohbat of pious and righteous people, go to good gatherings. That will help you to get away from this midst of darkness of laziness and start releasing you from the laziness, from going from static to dynamic, from energyless to energy full of energy, from being empty to full, where it will help you now to actually what? Put these things that you've learned into action. So from attending, you listen, you then reflect, you then think, you then weigh up your options, you start making the intention that yes, this is what I want to do, this is what I follow. You make a decision, then you become active. Get yourself from the lazy state and start become active. This is the legacy. This is what Yatlu alayhim ayatihi does. This is what the Prophet did. Motivators, encouragers, warners. so that we could move, be moving people, proactive people, not lazy people. Next due to the Prophet ﷺ, وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ, is that what? Purifying them, purifying his nation. Here, bridge of purification. Here, what he said, you need to purify first your body. These are sins related to the body. Imagine this is the heart. I won't go into detail. Imagine this is the heart. Let me just say, you see this water, you see this glass of water? It's spark, isn't it? Look, beautiful water, wonderful water. Now, let's see, you brothers, again, fantastic. Burnley people, honestly, I'm loving you so far. Imagine if I put 7 pipes in this water. Yeah? Can you all visualize that? Can you imagine it? Yeah? And imagine in this pure water, 7 pipes, and sewage comes through those pipes and enters that water. How would the state of water be, brothers? Sister, go on. Dirty. If sewage comes through 2 of those pipes, how will it be? A little bit more dirty, isn't it? What happens if through 7 pipes sewage enters this cup? It's even more dirty. Brilliant. Wonderful. It'll be more dirty, isn't it? Yes? Will it help? Will it benefit if sewage is still coming in the water? I get a bucket here and I go, I'll take the bucket. Will it help?
No.
Oh, no. Why? Go on.
Because the dirt's going to blend in.
Dirt is still blended in. It's not going to move whatsoever. So what do I have to do? Go on.
You have to spill.
Either you can spill all the water, but the sewage is still coming in. Go on, what do you have to do? Exactly. Block it. You have to block the sewage from coming in. If you block the sewage from coming in, and then, for example, the brother saying, empty the water, put fresh water in, will it get contaminated? No, it won't. This is like our heart. This last word is like our heart. Imagine this is like our heart here, the diagram you're seeing there. These pipes are like the sewage pipes we were talking about. And it's through, whenever we commit a sin, through the tongue, through the ear, through the eyes, through the hands, through the private part, stomach and feet, what happens? Black spot appears in our heart. And this nukta gets bigger and bigger and filthier, and it covers the whole heart. If we don't stop, this is the ilm into action. If we don't stop, if we don't block those pipes, that's why the brothers say, brother, I don't feel right. I don't want to go to the mosque. I don't want to go to Naat. I don't want to listen to the Naat. I don't listen to, I know it's Rabi Al Awal, but I don't feel the connection. I don't feel the one. There's nothing there. This is what they're saying. Why? The heart is darkened with sin, because of sin and heedlessness. That's what's happened. But how many times have you felt this and you'll say, yeah, Brother Qais, yeah, you're right. What is it? You come to the masjid. You didn't intend, but you come to the masjid. You prayed your namaz. You offered your salah. And you went out and you feel this sakina, you feel this peace. You go, I feel better. Why? You offered. Why? Whenever you pray, whenever you do good deeds, purification happens in your heart. Tazkiyah happens in the heart. It purifies it. Next, here, we'll quickly finish it. I think we've got a few more minutes. Quarter past, or earlier than that? Okay. Okay, we'll quickly finish this off here. Is that, like this, the prophetic mindset is that the prophetic second part of purifying, you've got the body, you've got the mind. Here you need to purify the mind. The Prophet ﷺ showed us how to purify the mind. He told us then to purify the heart from evil diseases. How we do that is developing sincerity, humility, repentance and gratitude. And then enlighten the soul, you enlighten yourself. What that will lead to is the objective in life. What is it? Giving preference to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving preference to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his sunnah and his ways, having compassion upon the creation, and being in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are objectives that me and you at every single aspect of our life can achieve. Through the legacy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has taught us and demonstrated how we can achieve it. Then, we'll push forward. The third duty of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَيَعْلِمُ الْكِتَابُ وَيَعْلِمُ الْكِتَابِ, is that he taught us what? Our belief system. He taught us the do's and don'ts, the fiqh. He taught us how to do tawbah. The belief is actually purification of our the crux, the most sternest thing, which is actually going to make us knot it into such firm. Aqidah literally means a firm knot. That if our belief is pure, we cannot be budged, we cannot be moved. So if our belief is correct, He came, taught us the true belief so that we cannot be moved. We're like mountains, it will never be moved, it will never be shattered, whatever happens. Then He came and taught us what? The fiqh, the do's and don'ts, how to pray, how to do wudu, how to do ghusl, etc., etc. He then taught us how we can what? Do tawbah. Tawbah is basically how you can purify your past. It's a purification of your past life. So now your belief is correct, your actions are correct, is purified, your past is purified. Now what you're doing? You're striving. Fourth duty, hikmah. How we can actually put all that together, how we can actually put this action, this knowledge into action in a systematic way. Hisab. He told us, Hasbi qabla to hasib is that hold yourself accountable before you're accounted for. This is wisdom. Is that analyze your life, look how you're utilizing your organs of the body, look how you're utilizing your mind, look how you're utilizing your heart, and actually do hisab of it. You cannot do this, like I was mentioning before, without a true guide, a true teacher. And this is what me and you are going wrong. We think we can do it ourselves. If you could, why are you in the state you're in now? Hence you need to come to Imam Sahib, you need to come to Qari Sahib, you need to ask these pious people, how can I actually become a better person? How do I actually mold my life into the life of the Prophet and follow his footsteps? How do I follow his way? This is why the Sunnah is the prophetic part, the legacy of the Prophet. Now I'm just going to come to an end, is that here the legacy of the Prophet is been imprinted. He's imprinted his path for you, me and you to follow, so that it leads us to what? The pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All we have to do is make our feet follow the same footprints, make our body, make our mind, make our heart mimic and follow those imprints that the Prophet ﷺ laid. That is the legacy in which he is being remembered by. That is the legacy in which me and you can achieve salvation. That is the legacy in which he will be pleased that you are still living up to that, and you brought it into your life and you're reviving that legacy. And that is what the legacy of the Prophet says. So here I'll finish it there. Here is that the legacy of the prophets and messengers, is that they came to encourage us and motivate us. They came to purify us. They came to teach us our belief system. They came to what? Give us wisdom so that what we can do, achieve the ultimate goal, which is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Jannah. That is their legacy. And they taught us how to that, demonstrated that, which I've mentioned, how you can do that, how you can follow. If you'd like to know more about this, there are brothers here where basically even in these areas you can do retreats. You can go on retreats, you can go on workshops, you can go on different camps and then learn practically how you can develop this into your life, bring into your life. You can see Uncle Iqbal and others, Brother Abid, you can see some of the brothers there, you can see them and they'll give you more details about how you can actually do that. How to revive the legacy of the Prophet ﷺ into your life and how you can actually make it flow into the other parts of the community and the other parts of the world. May Allah subhanahu bless you and honor you for taking time listening here. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanaka wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.